Alrighty, here we are for round one, and we have ourselves a keeper. We lost the die roll. This is not the most exciting hand I've ever seen, but we do have counter magic, an infect threat, and potentially a brainstorm. Oh dear, but looks like we're not going to be brainstorming anytime soon because we need to counter this chalice pretty hard. I could keep brainstorm around and then just use Inkmoth as my threat, which actually might be a better idea now that I think about it, since I already have an infect threat that's going to be hard for them to deal with anyway. Yeah, I think I'll actually do that. This way, if we draw a bunch of extra lands, we can get rid of them all. So I'm going to start with, do I want to Trop? We can get Trop with the second Windswept Heath if we need to. So we'll just play Forest first. We don't want to get Wastelanded. I mean, their deck probably has better things to do than Wasteland us on turn 2, but, Okay, or maybe they just have nothing to do. So I'm going to use this probe now. I want to find out what they're doing. Open up our snipping tool here. It's a good trick if you don't know it. I highly recommend it. Okay, so we have Lone Sword Golem, 2 Metalworkers, Sundering Titan, Ugins. So this is actually not Eldrazi like I thought it was. This is just the straight up old mud list. So obviously the thing we're most scared of would be Lodestone Golem, but we don't really have any way of dealing with any of their cards. So that's unfortunate. We're just going to play Inkmoth Nexus here and pass the turn. And I'm going to have to seriously consider whether or not we want to brainstorm on his end step. I think that depends on whether or not he plays a Metalworker. Since he didn't do anything, I think I'm going to hold the brainstorm, just so I can get the extra mana out of it. Okay, Daze, that's nice. Villain probably has no way of dealing with our threats if they didn't draw a land. Hierarch. Glistener Elf, you say? I mean, we can play a Hierarch and a Glistener Elf. I think we play Hierarch and attack, and then play another. I don't think we need this Glistener Elf. I don't think we're going to need it for a while. Excuse me. So, the question is what the other card we don't want to have is. We do want to play a land this turn, so it's not like Trop. We could put Windswept Heath on top. I think I will do that. I don't mind drawing that one extra land. We attack for 3, and we're in a really good spot here. I'm going to hit F7 and F8. Okay, so he gets to play Metalworker. And I think I'm just going to daze that because putting us behind one land doesn't really matter, and putting him behind seems pretty strong. Because Metalworker is kind of the card that's going to accelerate him to be fast enough for us to care. So let's play Heath. Maybe I shouldn't have done stuff with the Trop. Maybe I really should have just done something else. But oh well. We might be able to just win here. Inkmoth Nexus. Attack. F7, F8. Exalted, Exalted, Exalted. Yeah, we can just win here. So yeah, that went well, obviously. Alright, so, since he's playing so many goddamn artifacts, we're definitely gonna want Force of Will. What are the cards we're gonna want here? We're gonna want Force of Will, we're gonna want probably Viridian Corruptor, which means we might want to keep in the Zenith. We're definitely going to want our Krosan Grips, because Nature's Claim is still good, but it's a little bit worse because if he plays a Chalice, which he's playing 4 of in the main, then we're going to be in trouble. So we're going to want Krosan Grips and Viridian Corruptor, Spell Pierce, Force of Will, all the counter magic. I'm going to cut the Dazes though, because despite the fact that it won us the last game, He's generally, like, that was a bad draw for him. He's generally going to have enough mana around that he's going to be able to play around days, especially with us being on the draw. Dryad Arbor doesn't do anything, so we can cut that. Do we want swords? I'm going to go with no, since we have Corrosive Grips instead. I don't think crop rotation is what we want to be doing. Now the question for me becomes, Sylvan Library is the one card that I'm not 100% on. It could help us draw out of some bad situations. Actually, yeah, we'll take that out. We'll bring that in favor of Stifle, because Stifle isn't really doing anything. So we do generally want to be fast in this matchup, but as you can see, I've brought in a lot of expensive spells. But they're powerful, and they deal with problems that, like turn 1 Chalice, if we happen to not get a Force of Will opener. Yeah, I think I like this. Yeah, the problem with Stifle is that the only thing it really stops is Wasteland, which is not good enough in my mind. Alright, I can definitely live with this hand. It is lacking Disruption, but there's also the possibility that we just play turn 1 Glistener Elf, top deck a Berserk, and then win on turn 2, so I'm certainly not going to say no to that interaction. And I'm going to use a fetch first here, because again, that gives us protection from Wasteland, as well as just filtering our draws, which is nice. Chalice. This hand is not as weak to Chalice as our last one. Grim Monolith, okay. So he's probably going to play a 5-drop next turn, which I'd really rather he didn't, but what are you going to do, right? We got Basic Forest, Glistener Elf. So Glistener Elf gets a lot worse here, because he's probably going to play like a Lodestone Golem or something, but, you know, there's only so much you can do. If he doesn't play a creature, we can just top deck Berserk. Alright, so considering Brainstorm's the only 1-drop in our hand, I'm pretty stoked about him doing that with his turn. Especially if that's the only thing he's going to do with his turn. So I'm actually not going to use the fetch here. I'm going to save it to use with the Sylvan Library. So we're going to hit him for 1. And we're going to play Sylvan Library. And he's going to be needing to play a creature, because with the amount of cards we draw off this, we're going to be able to kill him very fast. Ugin or something? Probably. Metalworker, okay. Might care about that, might not. It depends. We might be, if we get Berserk, we might be able to kill him either way. Oh, hey, look what we got, Berserk. Didn't even need to use our Sylvan Library. And another Invigorate? Okay, so now we definitely win. I'm just gonna pay 4 life to keep all of these in my hand, because it completely removes the possibility of him being able to do anything. Oh shit, we can't actually cast Berserk, can we? That is awkward, isn't it? Oh well. There's always the possibility that he doesn't block. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Now the question becomes, do we burn a Berserk to save it? And I think the answer is just no. Or, not Berserk, excuse me. Invigorate. It does kill it, and it will prevent him from doing things. He'll have 2, 4, 6. He already has like 9 mana, and he only has 1 card in hand. I don't think that's really all that valuable. So, yeah, maybe I shouldn't even have attacked, but I think we're okay. Like, we have counter magic plus 2 pump spells. What's he gonna do? Like, we know he only has 1 card in hand, so whatever this is, we can just counter it if it matters. And then we auto-win next turn. Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Force of Will. He does have 1 more card in hand. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Oh, it was that land. What are we gonna draw? Land, Land, Ponder. Yeah, we don't really care, because we're just going to win here. Yeah, we were able to win through a Chalice of the Void, which is fun. The Legacy deck is definitely a lot less weak to it than the modern version, because most of its pump spells are 1-drops, whereas most of, you know, our best pump spells are Invigorate and Berserk. Or not Berserk, damn, can't remember the name. The one that requires you to exile stuff from your bin. But anyway, so that was a pretty good match for us. We got lucky game 1 with our opponent stumbling, but winning on turn 4 each time is pretty standard. You want to win between turns 4 and 6, I'd say. So anyway, we'll see you guys in round 2.